try to take a video now. Yeah. I'm just taking this video. I wanted you to see this video, what we are trying to talk here. Very simple video, no complication. I hope the video is visible. So now we'll start from the start. Okay, so now you see this is a lotus flower. Okay. Now this lotus flower is completely closed. You can see all its petals are fully closed. Okay. It doesn't open in the night. It doesn't open in the noon time. It doesn't open in the evening. It doesn't open any of the time except that one time, that is in the morning, early in the morning when the sun rises. That's the only condition it opens. There is no other condition it can open. Second, it is completely closed in its what do you say, the full glory of the lotus. But when it fully opens, the entire glory of the lotus is fully visible, right? So let's see this video. Yeah, now you can see the lotus is fully opened and fully glooming. And you can see the various aspects of the lotus. You can see its vibrant colors and everything. Now, what's the difference between the start of this video to the end of this video? This is equivalent to your consciousness. The consciousness was a closed consciousness or a covered consciousness. Due to, like how the sun rose the horizon and allowed the lotus to bloom, due to some spiritual aspect, the consciousness can open up, bloom fully and become like this. The external covering is our body. That can be anything. But the point is our consciousness. The consciousness, as it was closed, it fully bloomed. In a closed consciousness, it is highly materialistic in its nature. The consciousness, highly materialistic. It is not connected to the age of the person. A person may be very old by 80 years or 90 years, but if he is materialistic in his consciousness, it is connected to, or equivalent to the lotus which is yet to bloom. By the tinge of spirituality, the lotus blooms. By the sunlight, the lotus blooms. By the tinge of spirituality, that covered consciousness, the closed consciousness, opens up with full radiance and colors. And that is when it connects to Krishna. That's what also happens to us. When our consciousness fully opens up, then all the negativity in the qualities in us, they go away. And only one desire, loving service to the Lord, will be present in our heart. We cannot be separated out of it. That is called as a fully bloomed, opened consciousness. So this is very, very important to understand. And in fact, the entire Bruhad Bhagavatham is based on this principle. Okay. So we'll just go back to our presentation now. So what's the difference between an ant and a gopi? An ant is a covered consciousness like a lotus which is fully closed. But what's a gopi's consciousness? Is fully bloomed, radiant, colorful, and vibrant. That's the consciousness of a gopi. And that's the consciousness of an ant. So now if you're a human being and if you can measure your consciousness, where do you stand? How do you deal things with? How do you see every aspect of the energy in relationship to Krishna? You can relate for yourself, and then you can conclude what is the level at which your evolution has come to. You can also compare your kith and kin, your friends, your relatives, your own children. What is the level of consciousness they possess? See, while we were in job, I was working for Intel Technologies. So while I was in job, the many days we used to work 18 hours, 20 hours, and zero tinge of spirituality. That's how we were. And now it's many years since we quit our job and we are doing something else. But if I go back and say, why? What's the need to work so hard, burning ourselves and stressing ourselves? What did we achieve? Huh? So this is what we have to reflect on our life. What have we achieved in the past and what we have done? And what was the state of my consciousness during the entire journey that I went through in my life? If someone is 30 years old, they can see in 30 years what was the evolution of the journey. Is it heading towards spirituality or heading towards materialistic? That's the analysis we need to do. Okay. So in Bruhad Bhagavatham, we will see that. So we saw that Narada Muni concluded that the greatest of the devotees gopis because of their fully evolved consciousness. So now what is in it for us now? For us, we have to bloom. We have to blossom. We have to evolve our consciousness to the next level. That's the goal of our life. Okay. So now let's see what Bruhad Bhagavatam teaches in this. So now we are in part 2, section 1. We finished part 1, section 1, section 2. Now we move to part 2. So we'll cover the section 1 now, and next class we'll cover section 2, which will end the narration and descriptions of Bruhad Bhagavatam. Okay. So hear carefully, and you have any questions, you can stop me then and there and ask. Don't wait till the last minute. So that way we are more clear as to what we are discussing. Okay. So now this is, the first one was called Essence of Mercy. And the second part is called Glories of Goloka. Okay. How glorious is Goloka? What actually happens? So this Glories of Goloka is compared in reference to various other things like Vaikuntha Loka, like Ayodhya. So like that, there are many spiritual planets compared. There are also many earthly activities that are compared. Earthly means the material world, right? So that's why you will understand glories of Goloka. In an absolute sense, you may not understand it, but in a relative sense, you will understand it. That's the whole point here. Hence the title, Glories of Goloka. So now we begin, right? We began how this conversation began, Bruhad Bhagavatam. It's a conversation between Jaimani and Janmejaya. Who's Jaimani Rishi? Jaimani Rishi is one of the premier disciples of Vedavyas, who took Samaveda as the most important work. He created a large amount of disciples under him, and he went in detail into Samaveda. And he's explaining Mahabharata to Janmejaya. And who's Janmejaya? Janmejaya is son of Parikshit. And he has so much of love and affection for Krishna. He wants to know Krishna's role in Mahabharata. He's not interested in the political aspect of Mahabharata. He's not interested in the events and the fight and the war and the opulence of Mahabharata. He's interested only in the role of Krishna in Mahabharata and how the whole thing is landscaped about Krishna. Right? Since the conversation began. In that conversation, Mahabharata, while he was describing, he was asking more and more about Krishna, and then he came to the conversation of Srimad Bhagavatam. There, Sukadeva Goswami is reciting to Parikshit Maharaj. Right? And Parikshit, after hearing that, Uttara is asking, please tell me, I have some questions. I want the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, what you heard for 7 days, 7 nights. So hence, Parikshit is reciting the detail to his mother, Uttara. Okay. So now, after the first description of part 1 is complete, in part 2 is explaining. Now Uttara is asking Parikshit, what's the essence of everything? And then he told about Narada Muni. Narada Muni searched, where is this really mercy is? He went everywhere. He went everywhere and he found that the gopis of Vrindavan are the greatest recipients of the mercy of Krishna. Right? So that's what he concluded. Now Uttara is having more questions now. She is asking about detailing of what happens, how do we get that mercy? Who gets this mercy? What should be our state of consciousness? Right? So now that's how she begins asking her next set of questions. Now we'll see what the next set of questions is. She says that there are regular dharmic activities that one needs to perform, like a householder, a brahmachari. They need to perform pious activities. And these pious activities are categorized into three types. First is called nitya karma. Second is called naimittika karma. And third is called as a kamya karma. So she says, when someone performs like this, they go to higher planets, right? Like Bohrlok, like Soarlok, and higher than that, and things like that, and they enjoy more. So, what is that and what is this? She's unable to relate, because one side you saw mercy of Krishna and they're all in greatest bliss, but other side there is enjoyment. So, which is that I need to weigh? So, she's asking that clarity, because I see people do nitya karma and then go towards Swargaloka for enjoyment. If Krishna's mercy is greater than that, then why people are doing this? So she is sort of baffled and she's asking those questions. So just for understanding what is a nitya karma, in our Varnashrama system, a person has to go through 4 stages of life. The first is brahmacharya life. Brahmacharya life begins when at the age of 7 years. Once completion of 7, the 8th year onwards, brahmacharya life begins. And it ends by the 25th year. So in the brahmachari life, what happens? He's trained. He's trained with knowledge of the Veda Shastra. He's trained with austerities, with practices, tolerance. All these 26 Brahminical qualities he's been trained with. So when he comes out of the ashrama, he's very strong. He gets married only to do prajana for the pleasure of the Lord. He doesn't do anything else beyond that. And that's why it's called a brahmachari entering into a grihastha life is called a grihastha brahmachari life. That means this grihastha is also brahmachari by all standards. But since he is living with a spouse, he's called a grihastha brahmachari. And what is his goal? Goals are very clear. So then the Nitya Karma says, what do they do? What does grihasthas do? So it says daily. They have certain obligations as a human being. What are those obligations? Like you have to take mantra, take bath, you have to do external purification and internal purification. And then he has to do Trikala Sandhyavadnam. Trikala Sandhyavadnam is morning 6, 12 and evening 6, all 3 times he keeps on purifying his internal consciousness. He elevates his consciousness to the higher level. That's important. It's not just a mechanical thing. Okay? So you start with some prayers and things like that. The grihasthas will perform fire sacrifices. Okay? So these are all the regular activities of the Brahmana, a grihastha brahmachari. And that's why it's called Nitya Karma. Right? So for example, if he loses his parents, he's supposed to do Nitya Karma every day, apart from his daily duties. So this is the role. Now, what is Naimittika Karma? Naimittika Karma is activities that we do once a while, or I would say feel like a periodicity, whenever there is a need and things like that. So it's not every day, but you do on a monthly basis, like samskaras, like shraddha activities. So things like that you do, these are your regular duties. So for example, people do tarpana for Paurnami. So it's not Paurnami, for Amavasya. So like that they do. This is called Naimitika Karma. Now, what is Karya Karma? Karya Karma, Kamya Karma means activities that a grihastha should do in order to achieve certain benefits. For example, a couple does not have a child. So they do these karma, kamya karmas, by which they get a child. He wants some wealth. He wants to make more money. So they perform certain activities. It can be rituals or austerities to get those. Those are called kami karmas. So a grihastha, by performing nitya karma, naimitika karma, kamya karma, he gets elevated to a higher planetary system, which is bhuvar suvar, Swargaloka. That means he can get more enjoyment. But we learned one concept in Bhagavad Gita. What is the concept in Bhagavad Gita? Nishkama karma yoga. So that means performing activities, but nishkama, that means not attached to results or desires. Just because Shastra is told, this is my duty and I'm supposed to do. I don't care about the end result. So that karma, when it's done without attachments and without, desiring for results and things like that, it may push that person not just to Swargaloka, but it may push him to higher planetary system. What is greater than Swargaloka? We have Mahar, uh, Tapas, Jana, Brahma. So like that we have more planets. So it can go. So it is all about how much is the consciousness evolved and how much is the purification of the consciousness. So all these things will help one to reach liberation to higher and higher planetary systems. Okay. So this is the swadhyaya or swadharma of the personality. And that's what one need to understand. That's what Bruhad Bhagavatham is trying to explain here. So Parikshit is explaining the same thing to Uttara. Okay. Now, let's see how it goes. A householder is, let's say, is very detached. And he says, I'm doing everything as a matter of duty. I'm a father, I'm doing it as a matter of duty. I'm a husband, I'm doing matter of duty. Everything is a matter of duty. I'm not attached. I don't have desires to connect stronger with them. Connect desires to get attached to an activity. Even activity is a problem. For example, someone says, I'm a musician. I'm so much desire that I want to keep playing that music. That's attachment. Whatever we do, where Krishna is not present, is called attachment. It can be my business, it can be my job, it can be a sports, it can be a music. All these things are attachment. Right? So, if we perform our activities as a matter of duty, and I need to do and I'm doing, but that duty also should align with Varnashrama. What does Varnashrama says? At every period of time in your life, you have to let it go. You cannot hold on to it. A Grihastha Brahmachari's life ends by the age of 50 years. That means at the age of 50, we should have let go of Grihastha life. Let go of Grihastha life means be detached. That's what it means. You may be present, but be detached. And don't perform these activities. If you perform these activities now or tomorrow, they'll keep on be influencing you to get attached to it. You have to go solve it. You have to do it. You have to do things. That's how they get entangled into it. When that is done without attachment or detachment, it's called Swadharma. Okay. So, see where we are now. We are at here, Guhu. We are in the Bhuloka here. Okay. But by performing our Swadharma, we can go to Bhuvar, Suvar. But by being detached to any of the material activities, not interested, my focus is only on lotus feet of Krishna. Performing Nishkama Karma Yoga, one can even go to Mahar, Jana, Tapa, Satya. Like that he can go. So the key is detached. We get several times, we cry. Several times we get anger. Several times we fight. All these are symptoms of attachment. Symptoms of anxiety is symptoms of attachment. A person who is nishkama is unworried, not bothered about the result of the duty or activity. He just does it for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Okay? But however, people who do not perform the Swadharma, okay, they start going the southward direction. He may be a very truthful person, he may be a very highly philanthropic person, he may be a person with great integrity principles that all this material world talks about, but does not care. He just goes down this Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala Patha. Right? So, because he is ignorant of Krishna, that is the fact. Ignorance of Krishna is the fact, not ignorance of activity or knowledge. Okay? So, this tells where we will go to after this life. Okay? So, the whole point is, how do you purify yourself? How do you purify consciousness? The greater the purity of the consciousness, greater the liberation. Otherwise, they will have to take birth again and again in order to purify their consciousness. The whole purpose of Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam is to purify our consciousness. That's what Krishna puts back into the system. This is where you have to purify yourself. There's no other choice. The moment we begin Nishkama and stop all our desires, that is when we get liberated. Just because we are initiated, we chant the holy names, things like that. Yes, they're all good things. But if that Nishkama is not achieved in our heart, if our desire mongering is not achieved in the heart, we will not get liberation. That's the essence of this take home. Okay. So now let's go to the next slide. Glories of Goloka. Those with desires may go up to Swargaloka. So what sort of desires? Desires for enjoyment. But he is also doing Swadharma. People without Swadharma and desires, they go down the planet. People doing Swadharma, but he's got some desires, they go to Swargaloka. And they may get purified there. You may get purified because there are more purer devotees than us there. So we may get, because of our association, we may get purified. But if someone falls for the lust of it, and then he may fall down. So, based on his purification from Swargaloka, he may again go up to Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, whatever it may be. And then you can see that he can reach Satyaloka. So in Satyaloka also you will see the purity is very high. But if you do not get God consciousness fully, you don't get liberated. You stay back. If someone is God conscious, very detailedly, then he gets liberated. Okay? So, detachment is the key. Do it as a matter of duty. Do it as to fulfill the desire of your Guru and Krishna. That is the point here. Okay? So, go to the next slide. Now, there are, our acharyas say there are two ways to get liberation. Okay? One is to get direct liberation from this material world, and one is to go step by step, step by step. It's called gradual liberation. Okay? So what's the gradual process? Gradual process is, like, for example, so the gradual process used by many yogis, and they go through upper planetary system gradually. They get little enjoyment in these places, and finally they get liberation. That means, as they move higher and higher in the planets, they will keep on purified, and they will let go of enjoyment, let go of enjoyment, let go of enjoyment. And then when they reach the state of full detachment, announced order, right, they can get very quick liberation. So this is called gradual process. This is what a yogi does, step by step. We read in Canto 2 also the different kind of yogic process, right? We also read Ashtanga Yoga, how he purifies, how difficult it is to purify himself. So much of austerities he has to go through, right? So this is one method which is called gradual process of liberation, step by step, step by step. And by reaching Satyaloka, what happens? Brahma lives for a long period of time, 100 years. So that means you have to live along with Brahmaji. And when Brahma completes his lifetime, you get liberated along with Brahmaji. Provided you have your consciousness evolved. In ISKCON, we have the principle of Acharya. That is Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya. So what Acharya says? Acharya says, if you follow 70% of my instruction and mend your consciousness 70% of it, then even though you may not be eligible to get liberation, I will give you the eligibility. That's what the Acharya promises. So hence, holding the lotus feet of the Acharya means following his instructions. Then one may get the mercy of the Acharya. If one does not follow the Acharya's instruction and keeps violating, then Acharya's promise to liberate us does not hold good. Did you get the point? Acharya's promise to liberation does not hold good if one does not follow the instructions of the Acharya. That's the point here. So, by following the instructions of the Acharya, one may take a shortcut method to reach the Goloka, because Acharya is going there. Of course, selecting the right Acharya is important. Okay, so that's called instant liberation, and this is called gradual liberation. Okay, so devotees are very special. Even ordinary, even what do you say? Even yogis cannot attain, but devotees can attain. That's the specialty of devotees. Okay, devotees may have desires, material desires also, but they can gradually elevate to higher planetary systems because they are practicing what is called as Vaidiha Bhakti. And that Vaidiha Bhakti is the solution for pure Bhakti. That means practicing Vaidiha Bhakti correctly and strongly will reach you to the pure Bhakti practices. But devotees can do that very quickly, moving from Vaidiha Bhakti to Raga Bhakti. And they can reach Vaikuntha Loka. So, even the devotees of the Lord who still have material desires can enjoy the pleasures they wish, and they become fully purified to go to the Lord's abode. After destroying the desires of enjoyment with the power of bhakti, become completely purified. They attain the place of the Lord, Ajamil. Right? So, this is what the scriptures conclude. Okay. When they reach the Vaikuntha, the abode, it's made up of ecstasy, but that ecstasy is very focused. It's not distracted. The consciousness has reached the purity. The ecstasy has reached focused attention. It says that some people who are liberated, right, there may be different classes of liberation, but they can attain Vaikuntha. Lord's devotees who are sheltered by the Lord, who are cared by the Lord, they can reach the Vaikuntha planets much faster and greater than devotees who seek liberation by their own will and experience and practice. That's the glory of Vaikuntha. Which means, if someone says, Prabhu, I know what to do for liberation, I'll do it by myself. Versus, someone who is always seeking the mercy of the Lord to go back home, back to Godhead. That's the point here to conclude. Okay. Let's go to the next part. Now, Uttara, after hearing this aspect about Swadharma, who can go, who can get liberated, gradual liberation versus instant liberation, she's asking the next level of questions. She says, there are some kind of devotees who are very much attached to knowledge, jnana. And the jnana could be mixed with bhakti, which is called jnana mishra bhakti. Then she says, gives an example of Bharata. See, Bharata Maharaj focused a lot on austerities. Okay, he may not have a desire for liberation or mukti like anything. Or here mukti here refers to merging to Brahman, impersonal and all these things, because they are aware of the Lord. Because they have their jnana. Jnana is referring to speculative nature of the knowledge, right? So since they're bhakti, it's called jnana mishra bhakti. Okay, they practice, they know about the Lord, they practice bhakti, but they're also a little bit, into the jnana platform. They know that jnana is insignificant compared to bhakti, but still they're not able to get over it. But it's a transition that they will go through, right? So King Bharata is taking as an example. Uttara is taking King Bharata as an example. In King Bharata what happened? King Bharata ruled the kingdom. He left it, he renounced it. He came to the forest and he started to practice bhakti. How he practiced bhakti? With intense austerity, vairagya. So he slowly moved from Vaidya bhakti to Raga bhakti, where he was able to attain bhava state. Okay, but because of his past deeds that he has done, in this bhava state, his consciousness was disturbed. So what happened? When he saw the deer which was seeking mercy of him, of course, the deer was sent by the Lord himself. What happened? He changed his focus from bhava bhakti towards compassionate toward the deer, which is a material object. And hence, he fell down. So from bhava bhakti, again he fell down and he got the body of a deer. And in the deer body, what he did? He repented. He realized his mistake. Oh my God. How my offenses, how my misbehavior, how things that I've done in the past have caused me this expensive fall down. Every day in the body of the deer, he kept crying for Krishna. So that purification in the consciousness made him to again take a person with a human body, but in the consciousness of not bhava state, but in the prema state. So Jada Bharat was not in the bhava state, he was in the prema state. So that's why you see, if you read the life of Jada Bharat, right from his young age, how he clearly distinguished, this is something which will affect my life, so reject. Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Ruttam. These are things that will be favorable to me, accept it. So under any circumstances, he was not allured by any material condition, and hence demonstrated purity. Right? So he says, that's the first stage that we describe. So Uttara is describing all these things. Okay. Then next, what happens? Then she said, what about people without Jnana Mishra Bhakti? They are pure Bhaktas. Who are they? She took the example of Shuddha Bhaktas. Shuddha Bhaktas are like Ambarish. Right? So look at the faith of Ambarish. His bhakti was so pure and he had so much faith in the holy names. He had so much faith in the Lord that fearing, fear-mongering Durvasa, who created a demon to kill him, he was just not afraid. He was just not afraid. When the demon came to attack Ambarish personally, the Lord manifested Sudarshan Chakra in an instant of time and killed the demon. And of course, chased Durvasa also. So that's the position of pure bhaktas. Okay. But, you should understand the difference between Bharata Maharaj and Ambarish is there is no karma, jnana, vairagya. Everything is not there in Ambarish life. This practice in bhakti in the pure state. Okay. So this is the next state. Bharata, and the next state is Ambarish. Higher than that is Hanuman. Hanuman, he is called as a prema bhakta. Right? He has attained higher state of prema. And he's always looking to serve his Lord. There's nothing else that he has in his life, in his Lord. If the Lord goes out of him, he is lamenting out of separation. So, they're always looking for deep association to serve the lotus feet of God. That's the position of Hanumanji, who are in a higher state compared to Ambarish, in the state of prema. Then, Uttara says, greater than prema is prema para bhaktas. Prema para bhaktas. Who are prema para bhaktas are the Pandavas. In the state of Pandavas, you see, the intimate relation was so intense that the Lord desiring to stay with them. Now here it is ulta. The devotees are always wanting, I want to stay with the Lord, I want to serve the Lord. Now we have crossed that state and go to the next higher is the Lord is wanting to stay with the Pandavas. And their association is very intimate. They're ready to give their life for each other. Like that is association. Hence, you see, many roles that Krishna takes in Mahabharata is very, very intimate with the Pandavas. Okay, so these are called prema para bhaktas. Now, Bruhad Bhagavatham says, no, greater than that is prematura. Prematura bhaktas, here they are equating personalities like Uddhava and the Yadavas. Right? Why? Because when Krishna wanted to give this love letter to gopis, he could not select the Pandavas. He could select only Uddhava. That means more confidentiality and more closer is what personalities are. They're called Prematura. And they look like Lord. Uddhava, for example, look like Lord. Many of the Yadavas look like Lord. So like that, it describes that what is the consciousness. Okay. So now let's read here. I've written some literature here. There are various levels of devotees, and they don't all get the same result. They get different results. But they get results according to the type of bhakti and prayer. An ant is more materialistic in its consciousness, so it got a material result of sugar crystals. He is very satisfied. Uddhava, who was a Prematura devotee, he is getting association with the Lord at that level and he is satisfied. That's the point. So, there is no hierarchy, and this is called as the Vaikuntha mentality. In Vaikuntha, there is no hierarchy. This is according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava principles written by Sanatana Goswami. But if you take the Ramanuja, Vasishtadvaita principles, they say there is hierarchy. The hierarchy, and one reports to another, another reports to another, and they would serve the Lord like that, all is there. Right? But we follow Gaudiya Vaishnava principles. According to Vaishnava principles, each of the soul, this is the mood of Vaikuntha. This is the mood of the people in the Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, all are equal. More or less they're equal. They are not like, I am super senior, you are junior, nothing like that. But each of them have different kinds of rasas. The 5 primary, 7 secondary rasas. And they serve according to their rasabhav with the Lord. So when they serve in the rasabhav with the Lord, they're fully satisfied. I am satisfied to serve the Lord as a friend, and I am fully contented with it. I am satisfied as a lover to serve the Lord, I am fully content with it. So that's how they are all. Right? So in the Vaikuntha planets, there is no hierarchy, but the mood of service changes. There is different flavors of the moods of services. These are called flavors of love. Based on it, they're fully happy. Right? So, for example, Vatsalya Bhav, which demonstrated by Yashoda, and Dasya Bhav, demonstrated by Guha, both of them are same. Why it is same? Yashoda is fully satisfied with Vatsalya Bhav because she got reciprocation from the Lord, and Guha got fully satisfied with the Dasya Rasa from the Lord and is fully satisfied. That's the point here. That means there is no hierarchical variation, but there is flavorship variation. This is what you have to understand in the Vaikuntha mood. Then Uttara is asking, okay, if this is the mood in the Vaikuntha, then what about Krishna Loka, Goloka? People have very, very strong bhakti, like the gopis, the servants of Srimati Radharani. What happens to them? She's more worried that Nanda and Yashoda have demonstrated love so much superior compared to others. Are you saying that everyone will get the same, from a Vaikuntha point of view, everyone will be equal? Is Radha and Yashoda and Arjuna all are equal in service to Krishna? No, that's not acceptable. How is it possible? So she is lamenting from the depth of the heart that love should be also different according to one's level of consciousness. Right? So hence, she's asking, is the destination same or will it change? What happens? Okay. So this is the turning point now we're going to see. Okay. So how to explain this turning point? So this Brahmana, so Parikshit is now telling Uttara, okay, to tell you how to make you understand this, whether all of them will get the same or they will get difference, I will explain another story. So we started stories after story in Bruhad Bhagavatham. We started with Janamejaya and Jaimini Rishi story, then Sukadeva Goswami Parikshit story, then Parikshit Uttara story, then within Uttara we started a Narada Muni story, then now again one more story of a Brahmana. So this is the story into story into story. Now we will see one more story also into this. So cascading effect you will see. Okay. So Uttara is very disturbed. Oh, they should get something superior. So he's asking Parikshit, please tell me, what will be the state of the gopis, state of the Nanda and Yashoda? Because she heard in Vaikuntha everyone same. Then what happens? So he talks about as Brahman. So he's actually he's called as a Mathura Brahmana. Okay. And this Mathura Brahmana meets a person who's a Gopakumara. Who's a Gopakumara? Gopakumara is one who's a cowherd boy, right? So this Gopakumara is from Vrindavan. He's just doing cowherding. He doesn't know anything about Krishna. He's not learned, nothing. Okay. So he tells about the story of Mathura Brahmana meeting this Gopakumara and what happened when he met him. What is the things that he realized? So that's the story he's going to narrate. And while in the narration, before he meets Gopakumara, this Brahmana goes through certain stages, but these stages are called stages of realization. That's what we have to understand. Okay, so this Mathura Brahmana, actually, this happened in, he began with this Mathura Brahmana going to Assam, right? So, in fact, the name is also I put here. It's called Pragjotishta. That is the name of this Brahmana, okay? So this Brahmana was not aware of any scriptures. That means he does not know difference between Nitya, Naimitika, Kamya, Karmas. But he just had one desire. See, I see many people with a lot of money and opulence. I want to be like them. I want money. So he heard from someone that if I perform certain yajnas, I will get money. So he was after this. So the Brahmana wanted to perform yajna. Let's see. Full screen. Yeah. So he heard that if I worship this devata called Kamakya, then she will benedict a lot. So what he did, he worshipped Kamakya very faithfully. Kamakya is actually another form of Durga Devi. And there was this form of this Durga Devi in Assam region. So, but she was very satisfied because Durga Devi and Lord Shiva are very quickly satisfied with whatever we do. And they benedict. But this time what happened? This Durga Devi came in his dream. She benedicted him. What she benedicted him, she gave him a 10-syllable Om mantra. Okay, 10 syllables it is got. And our Acharya writes that it's called Madana Gopala mantra. Okay, it is actually our 6th mantra in our Gayatri mantra. Okay. So, generally, these mantras are never described very detailedly in the scriptures. They're always coded. They're highly encrypted format. You just can't understand them directly by reading. You need to know that language of encryption and then decode letter by letter, and then you have to join them. And that's when you'll understand the mantra. So generally it is like that. But Sanatana Goswami writes in his commentary. In his commentary, he explains about the syllables of the mantra, but he doesn't give the mantra directly fully. You can consider it as like confidential, gugyam. But of course, our acharyas are very merciful, so they reveal this mantra. It's called Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. That's the mantra he gets. It's 10 syllables in totality. So then he has faith in what this Kamyakya Devi gave, Durga Devi gave. He said, okay, this mantra is great. I will use this mantra as you direct. But he never asked the question, what is the goal of this mantra? What does it do to me? And how it will change my life? He never asked any of those questions. He just had faith in her and said, okay, thank you for this. I will chant this in. What she said, you have to keep chanting this mantra all the time. And it will fulfill your desire. That's what she said. Nothing else she said. And in the dream she came, she gave the mantra, and she disappeared. Who? Durga Devi. Then what happened to this Brahmana? The Brahmana became crazy. Every day he was chanting, every minute he was chanting. Probably time of eating he was not chanting. After eating, he used to chant. Keep on chanting this mantra. So he did not know the power of this mantra. He did not know what was the goal of this mantra. but he had faith. He just chanted. So this is like our Nama Bhash, right? In Nama Aparad, we are chanting with a lot of offenses because the 10 offenses we are not guarding. And then we also do Aparad, like Vaishnava Aparad or Deva Aparad or what it may be. In Shuddhanama, everything is aware, but we are not at ready. So Nama Bhasha is like, I have faith, I'm doing it because Guru told me. So doing it. Right? So this is like Nama Bhasha state. So he started to feel the effect of this mantra slowly. Why? Because this mantra is purifying his heart. It's purifying his consciousness. And what happened? He had so much of desire to enjoy this material world. He wanted opulence, lust, wealth, everything. So this mantra purified. It did not give him the wealth, but what it do? It purified his desire for wealth. That means whether wealth is there or not, I don't care. He became detached for the desire for wealth. So it means if wealth comes also tomorrow, it will not bother. If wealth does not come also, it will not bother. That was what this mantra was doing as a purificatory process for them. So he was thinking this way, that way, whatever he was speculating about this mantra. But one thing this Brahmana did was kept on chanting the mantra. Right? So that's the first step. Okay. Then what happened? The power of this mantra. It started to first remove the desires, but it also started to give detachment to him. So after he got detached, he started going to various tirthas. So, for example, he went to Jagannath Puri, he went to Dwarka, he went to Vrindavan, Mathura, wherever it may be. He went to all these places. And he would do begging, Bhiksham Dehe. Then whatever bowl he gets, and then he would eat that. Then he continued to chant the mantra. That's it. He kept wandering on the Ganges. He kept wandering to various tirthas where Brahmanas were sitting and performing yajna, homa, things like that. And then there he would just go sit there, see what they're doing. Once, while he was wandering like that, he found this group of Brahmanas where they're performing yajna and chanting lots of mantras. And they said, hey, Brahmanas, you're great. You're doing all your duties. So then he recollected all his this thing about Nitya Karma, Kamya Karma, and all those things. He said, hey, you're doing all these things. Then he asked the Brahmanas, why are you doing all these things? They said, oh, we are doing all these things so that we can go to Swargaloka. Now you see, these Brahmanas are highly learned, but their target is Swargaloka, not beyond it. So what we see externally versus internally is completely different. Then he said, oh, Swargaloka. But he initially said, okay, Swargaloka is good because a lot of enjoyment, a lot of opulence. But because you're chanting this mantra with faith, which the 10-syllable mantra given by Durga Devi, that attraction for Swargaloka, even though it spiked, it just got killed slowly and became no interest. He said, no, I'm not interested in this mantras and all. Swargaloka, but I'll just continue to chant this. And he privately chanted this mantra without them knowing it, because he didn't want them to know it. So this is how this mantra gives you purification of your consciousness. Actually, how he started his life, he started with life as austerity and rituals. What is the ritual? Oh, I want money. That's the ritual he started. But now that is gone. Even he's not even interested in rituals. When the Brahmana are doing the rituals to go to Swargaloka, he's not interested in it. He says, why? So he left the place. Then he started to go, and then he finally reached Kasi, Varanasi, right? So Varanasi, you can see lots of Brahmanas there, lots and lots of Brahmanas. And a lot of them, they keep talking in Kasi. The greatest thing they talk about Kasi is liberation. Lord Shiva gives liberation. That is the most important thing at Kasi. That's why they come to Manikarnika Ghat and they try to every day take bath there and live there one day, hopefully that they can die in Kasi. So that Shiva will come and chant the names of Lord Ram, and they'll get liberated. So after he heard all these things from this Brahmana, he said, oh, liberation is good, but it's somehow not, attracting in my heart. So he said, I better give up liberation. So he lost the taste for liberation also. But what he did, every day he used to take bath in Manikarnika Ghat. And then that is where, that is also the Ghat where it's next to Lord Shiva. Kashi Vishwanatha temple, great temple is there. And so he just went and took darshan of the deities. And then he prayed nicely, right? So you see, this chanting of this mantra, that Gopala mantra that he got, it gave so much of detachment, not just for rituals, austerity, lost money. It gave even higher, even liberation. He did not get attracted. That's the power of this. Okay. He continued to chant the Madana Gopala mantra uh, with a lot of faith. And he became very attracted. And where he was chanting at the Manikarnika Ghat. So Kashi Vishwanath, Shiva, what he did, he said, oh, you fool, don't be chanting here this mantra. Better go to Mathura. So that is where you can taste the real power of this mantra. And don't follow all these sannyasis and yogis who are performing this yajna and things like that. Don't follow them. It's all waste of time. Go there, right? So Shiva spoke to him in a, what do you say, in a bleak voice. And you go to Vrindavan, there you will see all your desires are fully fulfilled. So don't waste your time here. Don't take sannyasa. So like that, Lakshman. Now, what does this mean? It means that the Ihadevatas, the topmost of the Ihadevatas are Shiva. So all these Ihadevatas are also helping the Brahmana because the Brahmana has taken the right path to reach the personality of God. Right? So this Brahmana very happily, okay, I got this message from Shiva. I will not go more stay here. Do not take sannyasi. No more interest in liberation. No more Manikarnika Ghat. So what he did, he went straight away to Mathura. So he was in Varanasi. How do you go to Mathura? You from Varanasi, you go to Sangama, Prayagraj. From Sangama, you come to Mathura. You come down, right? And he met few Vaishnavas. Okay, now let's see what happens. So there he was seeing, and then he saw certain devotees. They were worshipping deities of Lord Madhava, Bindu Madhava. So he was telling that, okay, you're worshipping Bindu Madhava, but you're chanting one mantra, but my mantra is different. My mantra and your mantra is different. So why should I follow you? Initially, there was a kicker, but later on said, no, mantra is different, but I like what I'm chanting, so I will continue to do what I'm doing. Right? So he did not change. He continued to chant his mantra. So from the worship of Bindu Madhava, he moved away and he started to go towards Vrindavan. He says that in my mantra, I have Kim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. So I have Krishna in my name. And Krishna has got all those cowherd friends and people in the forest. And Krishna is always with the flute, always in a happy mood. He's always a protector. He's so and so, so and so, so and so. So why should I chant something else? So Krishna is different. So I will hold on to Krishna. That is the conclusion of this Brahmana. And he did not get attracted to the Madhava deity. Because he's chanting, what happened? The voice of Shiva continued to reverberate in his heart. So he said, oh, Shiva told me I have to go to Vrindavan. So I better go to Vrindavan. I'll go to Yamuna. That's where I can see Krishna. So that became his desire and he just went there. So he went to Vrindavan, he went to Keshi Ghat. So Keshi Ghat has got something very, very special. If someone reaches Vrindavan and takes bath in Keshi Ghat, and that too on a day of Ekadasi, that's it. Krishna promises one thing which is guaranteed. I am known to be a thief and I will steal your heart. And forever I will captivate you. So that is the beauty of Keshi Ghat. Of course, that's the place where he killed the Keshi demon. But the Keshi demon symbolizes our desires and feelings in our heart, which is materialistic in nature, and thereby manifesting the spiritual love in our heart. Right? So that is what he finally reaches. There, what do you have? He was searching around. Where's Krishna? I heard Krishna is Kadamba forest. Like that, he searched around, and then finally he found a cowherd boy who is a Gopakumar. This cowherd boy, this Gopakumara has a brilliant life to narrate for himself, right? So he saw him and he got very attracted to this cowherd boy. For whatever reason, we don't know. But the reason for that attraction is the purity of that Gopakumar. So he saw him and said, this is my life. I started as a person desiring for wealth and things like that. I went through the entire journey. Then I got this mantra. But now I am trying to search for Krishna. I'm searching, I'm trying to follow these rules. I'm following this, following that. So, what is it that is happening to me? Are you aware of anything like this? I'm trying to search for Krishna. So, that's what he told the Gopakumar. Then the Gopakumar asked him, saying that the mantra that you're chanting is the same mantra that I chanted and realized Krishna. And because both of them are in the same path, he said, I'm very happy, and surely you'll also be very happy in the course of time. Right? So, this is the conversation that happens between the Brahmana and the Gopakumar. Now, the Brahmana is inquisitive. What happened to you? What is your life? Can you please narrate about the activities and details of your life? How is that you're in such a blissful state? So the Brahmana is asking, and he's asking, where is it I can find Krishna? Right? So now the Gopakumara is answering to the Brahmana. So that means now you see, there's one more story now. Gopakumara narrating his life to this Brahmana. Okay, we will read this. The Gopakumara was thinking how to educate this person, this Brahmana, this Mathura Brahmana. He thought that actually he should directly seek Krishna. But to do that, he should not just chant this mantra. Which mantra? The 10-syllable mantra he's chanting. He's not just chanting about that, but he should do Sankirtan. Right? Sankirtan is about chanting names of Krishna, but not merely out of a mechanical aspect, but chanting Krishna with bhava, calling Krishna as a friend of one in one's life, calling Krishna as the only savior of life. So calling Krishna with that ray of hope, calling Krishna with that love, calling Krishna to take care of him, is that bhava that one needs to demonstrate while chanting the mantra. Now, what are we doing when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. We are more worried about the number of rounds. Am I complete? Am I complete? Time is up. Now it's already 1.5 hours. I'm still chanting. I've not completed my 16 rounds. Oh, I have to do other things. I have to do this. No, my throat is feeling dry. I need to drink water. I need to take rest. Maybe I'll chant in the evening. All these distractions that happen in our heart because of impurity in our consciousness. If our desire for Krishna is very strong, we will chant with bhava, with love for Krishna. Because we don't have bhava, we're having so much of distractions in our chanting. And hence, one should be intelligent. First what? First, one should develop the determination and the desire to connect with Krishna in the state of bhava. That should be running in your mind all the time. The second is choose either a location or a time where you are not disturbed externally. Because our senses, they get activated because of external disturbances. It can be a sound, someone asking a question, your phone call, your this, your that, and things like that. No. Avoid an external disturbance and ensure that you have a desire and determination to chant in the state of bhava. What is state of bhava here refers to? Refers to call out for Krishna. Call him. Call him for your help. Call him for your need. So that Krishna actually arrives. That's what we chant with that mood and consciousness while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So, this is the first explanation that the Gopakumara gives to the Brahma. Generally, we start chanting by chanting with rules and regulations. Oh, I'm supposed to chant like this, I'm supposed to do that, and things like that. But he says, that's okay. That's the initial stage. But you're moving up. Now you have to chant in Sankirtan. You should chant with reverberation, affection for the Lord. You should visit places of the pastimes of Krishna, tirthas, like Vrindavan and Mayapur, where Krishna came and performed his pastimes there. When we visit, the reverberation of that place will purify our consciousness higher and faster. Thereby, we will be able to get it connected to Krishna much, much better. So, the Gopakumara tells. So, that's why you see, this entire pastime did not happen in Assam or in some other place where the Brahmana was trying to have that desire. The Brahmana was somewhere else, not in Vrindavan. So, the Durga Devi gave him the mantra, and mantra slowly attracted him from various places, meeting various personalities, meeting various rituals or procedures, and seeking liberation, desires, all these things. It took him. The mantra took him. Nothing else took him. The mantra took him. The mantra took him and brought him to Vrindavan and then meet a pure devotee like the Gopakumara. That is the power of the mantra. So that means if we chant our Hare Krishna mantra also in the same instruction given by this Gopakumara, this mantra will take us, not just unknotting all the material bonds that we have, but it will cross us beyond these material bonds and take us to the spiritual world. This is the power of the mantra, and that's what he's trying to tell. Don't chant based on your rules and regulations. That's your stage one. Get out of that. Stage two, you move. You chant with bhava. Okay. So now coming to the last part of it. Mathura Brahmana is also called as Jana Sharma. Okay. He was in very deep distress. The Brahmana received sacred 10-syllable Gopala mantra from a guru. But he was very confused. Here the guru is Devi, Durga Devi, Kamyaka Devi. He was restless and unable to find ultimate peace. But he was chanting the mantra to see the Lord. That's the purification he went through. He meets the Gopakumara, and the Gopakumara begins his own story as to how he realized Krishna. And he's narrating his story to Brahmana. So this Gopakumara was just a cowherd boy, illiterate, not knowing anything. He was just grazing the cows, and he was in Vrindavan. One day, this Gopakumara saw a very saintly person. Okay, the saintly person was very, very attractive to look at. And the attraction was so much that he felt like whatever he says, I want to do. That was the kind of attraction. So this guru, or the saintly person, he told him, go take bath in Keshi Ghat and come. So the Gopakumara went to the Keshi Ghat, he took nice bath and he came. Then what he did, that saintly person gave him the same 10 syllables mantra, Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Swaha, and told him, chant. So this Lord, actually Krishna comes as that guru, and that guru, Krishna's name is called Jayanta. Okay, he comes as that guru, and he teaches this to this boy and gives this mantra to him. This Gopakumar, once he got this mantra, there is a purificatory process that happens. So he doesn't know what's happening to him. He begins his journey by going to Lord Jagannath. He goes to Puri, he sees Lord Jagannath. He's very attracted to him. And he tells the king, I'm very much attracted, I want to be here, I want to do service and things like that. So the king puts him into service, and then he's in Puri. But you see, he found a limitation with the deities there. Why? Because he saw the deities did not move, did not talk to him, did not feed him, or did not accept any of his services directly. That means he did not find lively interaction with the deities. So that created a vacuum in the heart of the Gopakumara, that I'm looking for something very intimate, something very personal, something very reciprocatory. And that intimation, that that deep level of separation in his heart for wanting for personal one, made him to move to the journey, and he came to higher and higher realms. So that's how the Gopakumara begins his narration to the Brahmana. Okay. So with this, we will end the first part of the first section of part 2. Now, second section of part 2 is all about narration of how Gopakumara traveled in his entire life and finally reached Goloka Vrindavan. And what did he see in Goloka Vrindavan? How he was amazed by to see various things in Goloka Vrindavan. And then after realizing this whole thing, the same Gopakumara comes back to the earthly planet, connecting with this Brahmana, to teach him, hey, this is what you need to do. What you're doing improperly. When you do things in this manner, you will achieve the same result as what I did. Okay. So in the next class, what we will do is we'll discuss 75% of the journey of the Gopakumara in reaching Goloka and what did he witness there. And the last 25%, we will discuss about what should be the state of Bhava, what is the state of realization in various stages of our life, and how we need to practice in our life. Right? So like that, we'll mix both, and then we'll try to conclude in the next week, the last part of Bruhad Bhagavatham. Okay? So I'll end my narrations here, and if there are any questions, we will take it up.
Haribol, Prabhu. The climax
Hare
you
Krishna,
left us.
Prabhu.
Uh-huh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for the wonderful narration of Bruhad Bhagavatam, Prabhu. So I have one doubt, Prabhu. This elevation to Bruhad Tapo and Janaloka, is it for the material world people who are doing their own karma along with some austerities? Will they be elevated? And what is the position of we Madhyama devotees who are sadhakas? Suppose we have some material desire, maybe any kind, in addition to our regular sadhana, we will be elevated. And then how we will make elevated again to higher lokas, Prabhu?
Okay, you have too many questions, so let me simplify. See, if someone performs rituals, many
Yes.
things to do as what we explained as Swadharma. Okay. If you do Swadharma, you go upper. If you don't do Swadharma, you go down. That's the first step.
Okay.
Now, when you do Swadharma, when you do that, if you have a desire to enjoy, just desire to enjoy. Okay, so that means you're limiting yourself to Swargaloka. You don't go beyond Swargaloka. Okay? But if there is a purity in your heart, no, I want to do Swadharma, but I'm not attached to any desires or results, then you go beyond Swargaloka. You go into Mahar, Tapa, Jana, Satyaloka. So then, what's the difference between a Brahmana performing this and a devotee? The Brahmana is performing these rituals and these Swadharma activities without Krishna in the center. He does not have Krishna in the center. He does it for his own benediction. That means the purity of the heart is not reached. He is not connecting with the Lord Krishna. A devotee, he is also doing Swadharma, but he is always connecting with Krishna. And he is performing activities that pleases the Lord Krishna. So hence the position of a devotee is greater than this Brahmana. A devotee can cross the Satyaloka and go beyond Satyaloka to Vaikuntha planets. That is the difference you have to understand.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Namaskar, Mataji.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class today, Prabhuji. And I had one doubt. So Krishna came already as Jayanta. And once you are in Krishna's association, automatically that is purifying just by the darshan or
Not
just by
necessarily. Not necessarily. Krishna was present in front of Duryodhana, but Duryodhana never got purified. The Kauravas never got purified. Krishna instructed Dhritarashtra, these are things you have to do, you're not supposed to do. Still, Dhritarashtra did not get purified. So, presence of the Lord does not mean that you will purify unless you realize Him. Many people come to the temple, they're in front of the deities. Krishna says the deities are not different from me, and many people are there, they're not getting purified. There is a level of purification, but that purification is very, very insignificant. Unless one makes a determination in his heart to change and go towards that lotus feet of that Supreme Lord, purification does not happen properly. That's the most important thing.
So we have to receive the instructions that Krishna gives.
Yes. So Krishna says, I have done my duty. I have come to you in the form of deity, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form of my holy name, in form of Prasadam, in form of Sankirtan. I've come. I've done my duty. Now it's your duty to get me. I've got you. Because I got you, you're able to chant the names, you're able to see Rath Yatra, you're able to eat Prasadam. I got you, but you're not getting me yet. So it's time you get me. That's the difference.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. And one more thing is, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is all-encompassing. And
Yes.
The goal of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Krishna Prema. So why is this 10-syllable mantra coming in? And what is the goal of that mantra?
See, this goal of this mantra is to avoid the love of Godhead. Okay. What is love of Godhead? Love of Godhead is what the gopis demonstrate. Okay. So you know this pastime, right? That Narada Muni said, whoever gives the dust from the lotus feet will cure the headache of Krishna.
Yes, sir.
Now, everyone talked about rules and regulation. Yes, how, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. How I can take the mud from my feet and apply it on him. That will be aparad, that will be this offense, that offense, this Shastra doesn't allow this. They referred all to the Shastra, to the rules and regulations. Okay. But what did the gopis do? The gopis said, no, we don't care about all these things. Our role is to please the Lord. If my action can please the Lord, then we'll take that. We don't care what's happening to us. So the gopis actually took the dust from their feet and then gave it to Krishna to apply on his head. And when Krishna applied, he said, no, now the headache is gone. So now what the point we understand is that when we go to the status of love of Godhead, it is much beyond, much beyond these rules and regulations. That's why we move from Vaidika Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti. In the state of Bhava and Prema, Bhava and above, rules don't apply. It does not matter whether you did your Sandhya Vandana in the morning or not. It does not matter you did your 16 rounds or not. It does not apply. It goes beyond. That's what you have to understand.
Yes, Prabhu. So, be it that 10-syllable mantra or Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the goal is the same.
Same. Goal is the same. But in the Bruhad Bhagavatam, that mantra is given by the Lord as a confidential. It's a confidential mantra, rahasya mantra. It cannot be given to everyone. That's why you see, even though when Durga Devi gave that mantra, he was chanting very secretively. See, remember there's one incident where he sees those brahmanas doing all those nitya karmas. Then even though he was sitting there, he was chanting very silently and without them noticing him, because that's a rahasya mantra. Right? It cannot be publicly distributed. That's the nature of that mantra. So Krishna manifested Hare Krishna mantra, which can be publicly distributed, which gives same result as love of Godhead. So love of Godhead means go beyond all these materialistic rules, go beyond this bodily concept of life, and you connect with Krishna. That's what Hare Krishna mantra does. So hence, we chant the Gayatri mantra. This is our 6th mantra. We chant that, but we chant in a secretive manner. We don't chant it loud. We can't even speak about it. I am now speaking here as just a mantra. I'm not giving it to its full purpose and value. But we are supposed to chant and keep it confidential. That's the point. It's called Kama. No, not Kama Gayatri. It is the 6th mantra. There's a name for it. This mantra has a separate name. Yeah.
Thank you so much for Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, one clarification, Prabhu. This Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopijana Vallabhaya, is it Swaha or Namaha, Prabhu?
The Shastra says it is Swaha.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So I hope you're all getting nourished.
Yes,
with the
Prabhu, very
class.
much, very much.
And we shall the fourth class is the most important, which will actually do the transformation to us, right? So we'll see what transformation that we can go through and what changes we can bring in. Now change the goal of your life, change the goals of your activities. Then you will see you demonstrating and walking towards a different rhythm. Okay. And it is really fascinating today because today is Ekadasi also, and then we are discussing about this on Ekadasi.
Very fortunate.
Increase our bhava. So hope we complete the journey of human life in this opportunity. Okay, thank you. Bruhad Bhagavatham ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you for wonderful session, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhu. Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Happy
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Okay. I'll end the class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.